all you greenhorns, listen up. My name is Sergeant Johnson. When you are not in my presence, you can call me anything your degenerate hearts desire, assuming your tiny brains can string together a couple of cuss words. But while I'm here, you will address me as, sir, yes, sir.
Okay. Since the release of Halo Combat Evolved in November of 2001, the Halo community has been exponentially growing in size and strength. LAN parties became even more popular as time went on, Halo esports boomed in popularity, and Mountain Dew flew off the shelves at rapid-fire speed. Times were good, and times were simple. And with Halo Infinite on the horizon, it's like myself and millions of others, most of whom are grown adults in their 20s now, are completely reliving those days. But if we're being honest, Gen Z's first proper introduction to Halo may have been all the way back on April 1st, 2003.
Hey. Yeah? You ever wonder why we're here? It's one of life's great mysteries, isn't it? Why are we here? I mean, are we the product of some cosmic coincidence, or is there really a God watching everything? You know, with a plan for us and stuff. I don't know, man, but it keeps me up at night. What?
Machinima has been ingrained in the Halo community for decades, starting with one of the earliest releases, Red vs. Blue. Rooster Teeth, the studio behind the series, started bare bones with Red vs. Blue as evidenced by the apparent reticle in the original videos, although this is removed in the remastered videos as of late. Because of Red vs. Blue, Machinima spiked drastically in popularity, with videos such as Master Chief Sucks at Halo, The Codex, and Arby and the Chief dominating the online airways for months, weeks, even years after release. The process of making Machinima was fairly simple, although it could be a bit of a challenge to learn, especially if you're completely unused to gaming or video editing, or, you know, script writing. And with the addition of Forge in Halo 3, this gave creators the ability to create their own open environments for their respective machinimas. Oh, and allowed for this absolute banger of a video to officially introduce Forge to the world.
Traffic cone?
Ow!
Or a spool of 6-gauge wire?
Okay, now that's just ridiculous.
Or a half-ton dumpster? Yeah!
Ah.
However, it seems as if Machinima has come to somewhat of a standstill in recent times, more specifically after the golden age of Machinima, spanning from the mid-2000s to mid-2010s, seemingly ended. So, to get a perspective on the current state of the community, I asked 3 content creators their take on what's going on in this day of age, and just a day before Infinite, too.
I don't even know if I actually need a suit for this. You're probably just recording audio, aren't you? No, my name is Camden P. Crawford, known online as Quad Pierce.
Alright, so hello everyone, my name is Lawson. I'm currently running Lawman Studios and Innovative Monitor.
My username is Grumpy Elite.
Basically, I was not into gaming for a long time. Like, I had the Game Boy SP and all that. I was heavy into Nintendo, but like going hardcore into gaming, I did not get into until probably 2010. Right before Halo Reach came out, I was given a Xbox White with a Halo 3 disc, and that's all I played. And I didn't get Halo Reach, which came out that year, until the following year. And so I just played Halo 3 forever.
Well, it was actually an accident, believe it or not. When Halo 2 came out, I was probably, what was that, 2007? I was 7 years old. I was still getting into video games at that time. I only had a GameCube, and one of my friends had a birthday party, and they're like, oh, we're gonna try this new game, but we can't let mom and dad know about it. I'm like, what? So I picked up my Xbox controller, and I just remember jumping into Halo 2 multiplayer, playing Capture the Flag, and it was probably one of the greatest moments of history.
Halo was just, my dad had an Xbox, he was playing it, I saw it, and I thought it looked pretty good, and from then on it spiraled into me enjoying Halo to a very extreme degree. It's my favorite game series, and I enjoy doing a lot of things in it, including Machinima. I just love whole things about Halo and just how it has a lot of creative tools, and that sort of spiraled myself into going to content creation.
I started in 2012 when Halo 4 released. I got into the whole clan thing with a whole bunch of people because, you know, young 12-year-old, I don't have friends. Uh, and so I just hung out with those people, and from there started my own clan, and we wanted to make cinematics because we saw this one clan make this whole cool machinima cinematic of their group to come join them. And from there, I was like, what if I made stories? And so I started looking up machinima, and I found Defense of Earth from Evan Royalty. I think that was out at that time. And then I found Rookies from Nightmare Films, a couple other things, and I just slowly but surely got into it. And around 2014, 2015, I released my first project.
So I used to like be in Halo clans and whatnot, and then I started my own clan, and that was probably a big mistake. And we were going to promote the clan and all this stuff, and I stopped, and I'm like, wait a minute. I got all this equipment. Would it be more fun just to end the clan and start making Halo Machinima, like Red vs. Blue and all those other great projects? And I feel like it's a great way, like if you're getting into film or you're just doing it for fun, it's a great way to create a film without having to spend a bunch of money into it. You know, you're spending money on maybe a capture card, a computer and whatnot, but it's less expensive than hiring a bunch of actors and a real set, if that makes sense.
I got into machinima because just from my love of Halo, looking up videos about Halo, and I stumbled upon, very famously, Master Chief sucks at Halo 3, and I noticed the phrase machinima, so I searched that up, and I found a whole bunch of people making stuff in Halo, and I was really perplexed on how they were able to get camera movements and able to record footage of the game. And that curiosity eventually led me to getting involved with different groups of people until they told me, hey, you just need to get a capture card, and that sort of spiraled myself into making machinima with a bunch of friends.
Currently, the main project I'm working on is called Quantum Divide Part 1. It is a 5-part series of about 30 to an hour-long parts. It goes Quantum Divide Part 1, 2, and 3, then Quantum Control and Quantum End. And it's my most ambitious project yet, and I'm really excited about it.
So, currently right now, I'm working on a lot of content for Innovative Monitor, which is something, a way for us to have continuous content coming out without it overlapping our schedules, because we gotten a lot older over the years. And right now, I have a Western coming out called Contrived by Blood, which is a really plot twist one. You know, you think the good guy is the good guy, but you find out the good guy's a bad guy, so it's more of like, you gotta decide who's really the good guy and bad guy based on what you're told in the story. I'm also working on Devoted to the End, which I probably showed you a while back, which is an astronaut story, which is about a guy who, you know, succeeds his goal into getting into space. It was always his dream. However, his wife died of cancer, and before she died, she was his motivator to continue his love for space.
The better question is, what am I not working on? There's a lot of different things I'm working on, both on and off, that have been long-term and short-term projects. The biggest things I'm working on are I would say 5 things at the moment, I would say. One of them is a project called Special Delivery. It's a short machinima, a little comedy action machinima that involves a lot of action involving cars and vehicles. Focuses on the driving, the challenge of creating an action scene through driving. Another project I'm working on that I'm trying to get finished is called Scavenger. It's a post-apocalyptic machinima. Focuses on there's not much machinimas that have elite protagonists, and this one isn't set in the Halo universe. The elite I'm using is to instead represent someone who is a mutated human being, and the machinima focuses on their inner struggles with their mutated self, and it has a very dark atmosphere.
Oh, I'm gonna get shit for this, aren't I? I think it's very broken, and I think it's because we were in a time at the height and we took advantage of everybody wanting to be in Machinima, everybody wanting to watch it. I mean, there's Machinimas that have over 1 million views on YouTube. But once Halo 4 came out and people were starting to fall out of it, and then Halo Reach became a 5-year game once Halo 5 came out, and only people who were willing to spend a ton of time making Machinima because of the Forge, because of the implications of not being able to use multiple controllers, so you could only use one controller to body act, and so the only stories that were coming out were people who were able to chroma key, and so it created a split in the community between quality. And then a few directors started leaving, and we came to a point where now Halo Infinite is still not out. It comes out December 8th, and we haven't had a new game that people liked in years. And so many people have left, and now all of us are kind of in our small little communities, and we're just none of us are working together, none of us are helping each other or promoting each other's content, and it makes it so we could make the best project, the best film we can, and it's still going to get under 500 views, and it's rather depressing.
I think there does need to be some changes. I think right now we're in the period of like what I like to call seasonal turmoil. So basically, we are stuck in a unmotivational spiral. Basically, because a lot of ideas have been used constantly, like zombie machinimas, and Spartan versus Elites type of stories. And I feel like this is their chance to go beyond the scope. I feel like when you create Halo content, people are so focused on content that's part of the Halo lore. That's great, but I feel like there's a lot of unexplored lore from the Halo books that we can look at, or stories that are outside of this world. You know, the creativity is all there. It's just, I think there needs to be a lot more content out there for people to look at, per se. And no dissing on the newcomers. I mean, I think their content's great, but for people who are new and trying to get inspired, I think big content creators such as myself and Quad and you and other people, at some point we'll have to step up our game to get them motivated, kind of like how we started when, you know, Running Dead came out and all those other projects years ago.
My thoughts have always been shiftily changing just based on my own IRL state of being, but also the different people who've influenced me. And currently, I'm a bit on the fence of Machinima. I'm a bit hopeful that whatever comes out of Infinite, the community will follow suit and make the amazing things with it. My biggest problem with the Machinima community is not the people in it. There's a lot of people in the Machinima community who I call personal friends, and I've been able to make a lot of connections. And I think with like 99% of it, I'm very well liked, and I like to be around people here. My only issue is that I feel like it's sort of stagnant. It stays in this same circular position with making similar content, but also not trying to collectively evolve the art form, which is hard since the main appeal of a machinima is being a very convenient art form to make stuff in. And some people just want to make something and put it out there, do something fun with their friends, and that's perfectly fine. My issue with it is, and I would say that's perfectly fine. My issue with it is with people who complain that they're not getting popular enough when they're not doing things that they could be changing about their content, and they're trying to do the same thing but expecting different results, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. In closing, all three content creators and many others whom I managed to speak to and get an opinion from were all fairly dissatisfied with the state of the Halo Machinima community. There have been many factors to cause this slump. Quad, Lawman, and Grumpy Elite, as well as other creators ranging from Nightmare Films to the Volte, hope to build a better, brighter future for the community they've called home for so long. And with the release of Halo Infinite, we can only hope that Machinima is here to stay for the next generation to explore and appreciate.